Thanks for inviting us in. It's 11 o'clock and we begin tonight following several breaking news stories across Indianapolis. First tonight at 11, a shooting at Gardner Park on the east side of Indy. Police confirming to 13 News that a man was taken to the hospital in critical condition. This happened less than 3 hours ago. This park near 46th and Shadeland. Officers on the scene tell us this kind of violence is becoming all too common.
It's usually the first thing people go to now is to pull the gun out and shoot someone. Yes, that seems to be the trend. Sadly enough, it seems there's just a deterioration in our society. The moral fabric is just not what it was, and it's led to a lot of violence in our city.
Right now, police are telling us they're interviewing witnesses, working to piece together what happened tonight and try to identify a suspect. And we've got breaking news on the southwest side of Indianapolis tonight. A person killed in a hit-and-run crash. All of this unfolding on Lyndhurst. That's near the Sam Jones Expressway. Happened around 10. Witnesses on the scene are telling 13 News one person was hit by a truck when she went to grab something out of the road. Right now, Lyndhurst between Kelly Street and Bradbury Avenue is closed to traffic. IMPD has their fatal crash investigation team working on that investigation. Now, we're going to be following all these stories for you overnight. We'll have updates for you as we get them both online on WTHR.com and on Sunrise beginning at 4 a.m. And now to Zionsville tonight, where federal agents are conducting an investigation at Ray Hall, Letterman, Lanigan. Zionsville police tonight say they were called in to assist the agents, but as security outside the building. Now, at this hour, both the DEA and ATF confirmed to 13 News it was not their agency. So we also talked with the FBI. They declined to comment, but the Zionsville mayor tells us FBI agents were on the scene this morning. So right now we're still working to learn more about what brought those FBI agents to the headquarters of the racing team. Ray Hall Letterman Lanigan is co-owned by former Indy 500 champion Bobby Rahal, former Late Show host David Letterman, and businessman Mike Lanigan. So a spokesperson for the racing team told us in a statement they are cooperating fully with investigators but are limited to what information they can share. Tonight, new developments on a story we've been following for years. The state of Indiana has now agreed to transfer the old Indiana Women's Prison to the city of Indianapolis. This is something neighbors living near the old prison have been pushing for after reports of vandalism and illegal dumping. Our Logan Gay talked with neighbors tonight about what they hope happens next.
For 7 years, neighbors living near the old Indiana State Women's Prison say they've lived next to an eyesore. After it closed, the buildings became dilapidated and people have fought to turn things around. The site has historic significance as it was the first women's prison in the country. Pritchard, along with other neighbors from the Indiana Women's Prison Alliance, have been working for years to advocate for the state to do something with the site that's more complementary to the neighborhood.
It has been sitting vacant, just gradually deteriorating and having an impact on surrounding blocks, surrounding neighborhoods, surrounding streets, lowering tax values, a center of crime, and safety issues.
Alexis Alexander lives near the old prison. She hopes that whatever the city does with it, it attracts more investments to the area.
Maybe doctor's office, a convenience store, something that the community can use for people that don't have a car.
Pritchard believes this announcement is good news for the community, but there is still a lot of work to be done.
I think there's a lot of ideas. What we need to do next, in my humble opinion, is focus on trying to build consensus in the neighborhood about what we want to see there, and then combining those wishes with research, data, demographic, economic data to see what's feasible there.
Site of the women's prison at Randolph in East New York. In exchange, the city will transfer ownership of property Harding and Sherman over to the state. That's expected to be finalized in November.
All right, Logan, thanks so much. Tonight at 11, 9 people are now facing charges linked to those fiery street takeovers that we've been reporting here in Indianapolis. Police responded to 6 of those takeovers over the weekend all over our city. The charges in these cases range from criminal recklessness to resisting law enforcement. In fact, one person tonight is facing a gun charge, another charged with intimidation after hitting a police car with a baseball bat. In all, police encountered more than 150 vehicles. The Marion County prosecutor told us today these situations aren't just a nuisance, they are dangerous.
Law enforcement can't do their job. They can't respond to runs, fire, ambulance. They can't get to where they need to go because these streets are literally being taken over by people who apparently have nothing better to do on a weekend.
Mears ended up telling us that these takeovers are really getting worse. At the beginning of the summer, police were seeing people do donuts in parking lots. You see it here. And now they're more organized. Some people are now setting the streets on fire. Well, IMPD is getting new technology designed to improve investigations like those street takeovers. The police department is adding in-car cameras to its video capabilities that now include body cameras and license plate readers. So they're installing more than 1,000 of these cameras inside the patrol cars. Each vehicle will get 2 cameras, one in the front facing forward, the other in the back seat, providing a view of a suspect or a prisoner who's getting transported.
It's activated automatically through the light and siren box, through the computer-aided dispatch, so certain 911 calls, as the officers get close to the location, they automatically trigger, or through the automatic trigger that exists on the holsters.
So those cameras will stay in standby mode and they will capture the first 30 seconds of video before being activated to ensure critical moments are documented. Right now, authorities in Kentucky confirm a body discovered near the scene of that mass shooting along I-75 is believed to be the suspect. Kentucky State Police say articles associated with the body leave investigators to believe that it is in fact Joseph Couch. An official identification is expected tomorrow. Now, authorities in Laurel County, Kentucky say that Couch opened fire near the interstate back on September 7th. 5 people were shot that day. All of them survived. But since then, search teams have been urgently looking for the gunman. Investigators say hundreds of tips have come in. They have searched more than 28,000 acres. A retired police officer and his wife have been part of that effort, looking for Couch over the last few days. In fact, they're the ones who discovered the body by looking up and seeing vultures flying above the woods.
It's important because everybody's been disrupted. You have a coward here that shot 5 people out here on a cliff for no reason whatsoever, and this whole community. And even though I'm retired, I've got the time to go out here and look.
Investigators say the gunman parked near a ridge overlooking Interstate 75. Gunfire hit a dozen cars. Right now, there is no word on a motive. Now, one of the 5 people wounded in that shooting is a woman from Indiana. In fact, I just talked with her today. So we talked about the other wounded driver that helped stop her bleeding. You're going to hear how music and her Christian faith are helping during her recovery. This is a story you'll only see on 13. You'll see it tomorrow night at 11. Matt?
Scott, definitely looking forward to hearing that story. Right now, we are mostly clear across central Indiana. The moon looks pretty much full. Technically, it was a full moon last night. If you look up, it pretty much looks like it out there. It's about 30% brighter than the average moon. So got a big old nightlight out there in the sky. And you can see it fine because we're mostly clear, not many clouds out there anywhere across Indiana. Right now, temperatures are still fairly comfortable, even at this hour here in central Indiana. We got temperatures mainly in the mid-70s, so right there at room temperature. Overnight tonight, we'll end up somewhere in the 60s, and then we'll probably stay there overnight tonight. Waking up tomorrow morning, we'll have mostly clear skies, but we do have weather to talk about. It's been very quiet, very dry the past several days, but 2 fronts are on the way to give us cooler air and rainfall. Coming up, Scott will let you know how much rain is headed our way.
Here's a look at the other stories making headlines right now. We're learning more tonight about the woman and 3 children found dead in a northern Indiana home. Tonight, the coroner says police discovered 32-year-old Rebecca Hughes and 3 little girls, all between the ages of 5 and 8, during a welfare check yesterday morning. Investigators haven't said how they died. A 14-year-old from Muncie just appeared in court today, charged as an adult for the deadly shooting of a 15-year-old. Latajon Phillips was found dead back in August, and now the teen suspect is charged with multiple counts, including murder. A trial date is set for March. This IU fraternity is responding tonight after one of its members was charged with assaulting 2 women. Noah Apgar is pleading not guilty tonight. According to court documents, 2 women say Apgar assaulted them just days apart. One of the assaults reportedly happened at the Sigma Alpha Epsilon house. Now that fraternity is telling 13 News that Apgar is expelled, and tonight they're working with IU and police on this investigation. Tonight, a new agreement is expected to bring a voting center back to Purdue. As we reported yesterday, for the first time in years, leaders in Tippecanoe County were not planning one on campus. But now the election board and Purdue say they have found a viable spot, the Cordova Recreational Sports Center. The election board is now planning a vote next week to formalize this plan. Tonight, we're getting a new look at the renewed effort to fix neighborhood streets. Over the last few years, the city has repaired hundreds of residential roads. Now, an increase in state funding is giving Indy DPW a chance to expand the work. Right now, we're breaking down some of the specific areas online. You can head to WTHR.com/SceneOn13 to see them.